guys, it's me, Laura. I'm a homeschooling mom of 3 kids ages 4, 9, and 11, and today I am going to be doing a flip through of Lightning Literature and Composition grade 6 for you. Now there are a few other moms who have been using Lightning Literature for a while or have used it with other ages and have flip throughs or reviews of those different grades, and I thought I would leave those for you in the comments below, so if you want to see those you can. I have not seen one for this particular grade, however. You will have a teacher's guide, which if you plan on doing composition, you have to have the teacher's guide, and I really think it's necessary because it does have the answers and can help you with some of the discussion questions. So you'll have a teacher's guide and then a student work text. So it's got kind of the textbook stuff in here for your grammar and mechanics, as well as your worksheet pages and just everything that your child will need for the year. Now for this year, this is a literature-based program, so your child will be reading a lot of books, and I plan to either read them together, or he might listen to some on audiobook, or he might read some by himself. I expect there's going to be a big mix in there, and that's totally fine. These are not his books that I'm having him reading for his independent reading time, because I want those to be his choices. So these are the books that are covered in the 6th grade course. There's The Wonderful Wizard of Oz, The View from Saturday, The Wednesday Wars, Pax. This is actually one of my son's favorites. He will not mind reading it again. A Long Walk to Water, Yellow Star, Roll of Thunder, Hear My Cry, and The Wind and the Willows. And there's actually 4 poetry units that are included as well, but all the poems are in the work text and they're kind of mixed in with all the different units. I'm going to go ahead and turn the camera around, and I'm going to walk you through the workbook first, and then I'll walk you through the teacher guide so that you can see a little bit more of what this is all about. All right, here is the student work text, and it is quite hefty, but as you can see, it has at the beginning all of the different books that your child will be reading, all the units, and they're all color coded. So this is true, I think, of all the Lightning Literature books. So if you look on the pages, the color for the page numbers is going to match with the colors here. So that makes it very easy to know what's going on and where you are. And as you can see, each book is about 4 weeks long. There's a couple that are a little less or a little longer, but I find that the amount of reading that it is being asked of the children each day is certainly not too much. It feels like a pretty good amount. And then for the first lesson, we're going to have Wizard of Oz. So at the beginning, you're going to see a checklist for the week. So you can use this if you have a child who likes to work really independently and wants to keep track of everything that's going on. It's got your everyday, read chapters 1 through 2, chapter 3, chapters 4 and 5, chapter 6. And then it's got the grammar assignment. So I've gone ahead and marked on this because I'm modifying this assignment for my child, which is one of the great things about this program. It's very easy to modify to do exactly what you need it to do. We are not going to be doing this composition activity. So all the composition assignments are actually in the teacher guide. They're not in the student workbook. And you do not have to do them all. They're all there as options. If you have a child who really likes writing, by all means, go ahead and do them all. But if you just choose even a few of the writing assignments, that's totally fine, but you can pick what is going to work for your child's pace. And then there's also extra activities here. So the teacher guide will list some additional activities that you can do if you would like to with your child, and you can write those there. So after reading every day, there's going to be some comprehension type questions. These questions tend to be a lot more of your deeper thinking type questions. They are not simply questions to quiz the kids to make sure they read. They're questions to help dig deeper. You can certainly have your child write the answers to these questions. I plan to just use these as kind of discussion questions after we read and talk about them together. And then for every lesson, you're going to have a grammar assignment. So in this case, it's setting. So there's usually quite a lot to read. And then there's usually some grammar activities to go with it, like some work that your child can do. I don't know if we're going to read these together or if I'm going to have him do this on his own. We'll kind of play that by ear. But then, like I said, you've got your activity to go with it as well. And that's day 1. So here for day 2, again, you've got your reading and your questions. You have your grammar here. They're going to be putting together a language arts notebook. We already have one that we use, so we'll talk about how we'll be using that for this session, and that is it for this day. Then for this day, they're going to be doing the reading. Again, we have the questions. We're going to be learning about nouns, and there's a few little activities for them to do to practice with different kinds of nouns. Here's more on this page. So as you can see, there is a lot of grammar content. It's pretty heavy in grammar and mechanics. And if you feel like this is too much for your child, you can certainly cut down or do it together, but this would be the activity. So then on day 4, they're going to read chapter 6, answer the questions. Here's some more on nouns, some more advanced work with nouns. And so you'd be reading that and going through all of this. So you can see there's a lot of grammar information there. And then this would be the activity. And that is it for the week. There's only 4 days, and that's set up so that if you want to, if you don't quite finish, you can roll some of that work over on the 5th day. Or if you wanted to, you could do all of your writing on the 5th day, or however you want to structure it. And none of the writing assignments are listed in the book. They're all in the teacher's guide. This is what a week of the poetry looks like. So you've got all the poems that they're going to read in the week, and then the activities that they're going to do here. And for these weeks, all of the poems are included for each day. And then you have your grammar, learning more about poetry, but it's all going to be included right there in line. And so you're going to go through in that way. And then if we look, here's the a long walk to water. So this one, again, is going to be set up similarly where you have your checklist at the beginning, you have your reading and your questions. And then this week, there's going to be a little bit of a grammar review. And then we have another reading with questions, more grammar review, reading with questions, and then again, it reviews again. Now, there are a couple things that I wanted to mention in here. There is some sentence diagramming that is included with some of the lessons. And for some people, this is really helpful. For other people, this is really frustrating. If sentence diagramming is frustrating from your child, you can certainly skip this part. I don't know if it's going to be helpful for mine or stressful. So if it ends up being something that's stressful, we may end up just replacing that with some easy copy work or something along those lines to kind of keep things as productive as possible. But this is meant to be a flexible program, so you can certainly make those changes with it. Now I'm going to go ahead and show you the teacher guide so you can see how the composition works. And when you get your guide, you definitely want to read the beginning. This is really not a whole lot on how to use the book. And basically it explains ways that you can be really flexible with the program. And it tells you how to prepare for the week and all the things. So that when you get to a new week, you're going to have your week of a glance here, which has all of your materials that you're going to need and your optional materials, and it kind of gives you a little bit about what you're going to be working on. So this week, maybe you'll begin a fairy tale if you choose to do that composition activity. And then it is laid out so that it goes through each day, and it has the answers for the different activities your child will be doing, as well as any notes that you might want to have. And then you can see here on day 1 is the suggested composition assignment. So our plan in using this is that we'll do a whole lesson of our reading, and we'll go through, we do a 4-day week, we'll do that normally just as it's written. And then what we're going to do is take a week or 2, depending on the writing assignment, after we've done each lesson, and we'll do one of the composition assignments from that lesson. So in this particular book, there's one where you write a story, and there's also a compare and contrast activity where you watch the movie and then write a compare and contrast essay about it. The composition instructions are fairly loose. It's basically like giving you, today you need to brainstorm, today you need to write your first draft, today you need to edit. And the reason the instructions are a little bit vague like that is because the author of this program wants you to make the assignments an appropriate length and difficulty for your child. So maybe writing a paragraph is appropriate, maybe writing a 1-page paper is appropriate. You can use the assignment in such a way that it meets your child's needs. Now, if you do have a child who needs a lot more specific help with writing, you may need to pull in additional resources to help with that. But I would say that it's a really good starting place to get your child going as far as writing. And those are scheduled in here in the teacher's guide. Then when you get to the end of each week, you're going to have day 5. And it says, today is a free day to use however you choose. Finish any unfinished work from the week, review, explore some of the ideas below, or simply take a day off language arts. So this is going to have some activities to extend the lesson. And this could certainly be a jumping point to create unit studies around these books if you wanted to do that. But here it talks about learning about Kansas, building a scarecrow, learning about lions, studying tornadoes, watching the movie The Wizard of Oz to go with it. And it's just going to have ideas, and all of the weeks will have different ideas for you to kind of look at the book together. So that is pretty much it for the grade 6 walkthrough for Lightning Literature, and hopefully I can do a better review for you guys once we've used this for a little bit. When I was initially looking at this program, the thing that held me back was the fact that you can't pick the books. So when I was choosing the level for my child, and this is actually what I recommend, is look at your child's ability level and look at the level that is that ability level and the one above and the one below, and look at the books that are included and pick the level that you think your child will like the most. Why I finally did decide to pick this is because I like that there are more in-depth discussion questions. It does have children do things like from time to time they'll say, write your favorite sentence from your reading today, which is copywork that's included, but they're picking it and it doesn't feel so copyworkish. And there are activities that I think are really helpful as far as digging deep and understanding what you're reading. And I think that's really important for where we're at right now in homeschool. And it's not something that I see a lot in a lot of other curriculums. I find that it's either drill and kill questions or just so open-ended. And if I don't have a chance to look at the resources ahead, especially if my son's going to be reading it himself, it's just a lot of work. And so I like that that is already done for me. I also feel like the composition is good. It is definitely, there's room to keep things open-ended, and it does have more structure than just write an essay to compare and contrast the Wizard of Oz book and the movie, but it does actually go through a little bit more step-by-step than that, and I really appreciate that about this program. I also feel like the grammar is really, really strong. It's honestly a little bit more than what I was looking for grammar for this age, but I feel like even if we just kind of read through it and there's not a mastery to it, but we just talk about it and use this as an opportunity to jump off and discuss, if this becomes too much, we can definitely do that. And I feel like it is good exposure, and some of these concepts are more in depth than what I would find in a lot of other grammar programs. And I think overall this is going to be a good program. I'm really excited about it. I think that if you take each unit, like you could totally do a unit and then take a break, or if you wanted to, like I said, if there's a book that he's not able to get into, I plan to either skip the unit or just move forward and read a different book, or possibly even pull in a Brave Writer Arrow guide and do one of those and then jump back to what we're doing. There's just a lot of flexibility in this, and I'm kind of looking at it as separate units because I think that helps me to wrap my brain around it better. We do school in like a chunk setting. So if I think of it as we're going to do our wonderful Wizard of Oz unit, and then we're going to do our View from Saturday unit, and then we might do a poetry unit, and then, oh, maybe there's something that he's interested in that has nothing to do with that. Let's put all of this on a break and let's pull a Brave Writer Arrow unit, or put a unit together with something else. Let's focus on copywork a little bit. Let's change it up. I feel like this is going to be flexible with that. So I do not have the goal of necessarily finishing this in a full year. So let me know if you have any questions below, and I'll try to answer them if I can. Like I said, I'll know a whole lot more once we use it, but hopefully that flip through is helpful for you if you're considering this in your homeschool. And like I said, I will for sure link below some other moms who have done some great videos who've used Lightning Literature and at some of the other levels, and I will drop that below. I hope that you're having a wonderful day, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.